If you have ever sat in a meeting where someone asked, "Where did this number come from?" and nobody in the room could answer confidently, this video is for you. That moment when a report is questioned, when a metric means different things to different teams, when the logic behind a number lives in someone's head and nowhere else is a data trust problem. And it is more common than most organizations admit. Over the last 10 weeks, I published 10 videos exploring a single idea. Trusted data does not happen by accident. It is built through definitions, ownership, documentation, and discipline. In this video, I am going to walk you through the 10 lessons from season 1, the ideas that matter most, the stories behind them, and why they connect into something bigger than any single video captured on its own. Whether you watched every episode or you are discovering this channel for the first time, this is your starting point. Before I walk through the 10 lessons, let me tell you the idea that runs underneath all of them. In financial services, where I spent over a decade working in data analytics, governance, and regulatory reporting, I learned something that changed how I think about all data work. Trust is not a feature of good data. It is the foundation everything is built on. When people trust the information in front of them, they act on it. They make faster decisions, they ask better questions, they build on what they know. When they do not trust it, everything slows down. Reports get questioned, meetings become debates about numbers instead of decisions. Analysts spend their time defending outputs instead of improving them. Every lesson in season 1 is really about one question. What does it take to build reporting that people trust enough to act on? The answer, it turns out, has 10 parts. Lesson 1, why leaders stop trusting reports and how to fix it. Trust breaks down for 5 specific reasons: inconsistent definitions, weak ownership, poor traceability, missing context, and no connection to action. A polished report that creates hesitation is still a weak report. The fix is not a better dashboard. It is structure, ownership, and discipline behind the scenes. Lesson 2, what data quality problems actually look like inside a business. Data quality is not just bad data. It is missing records, inconsistent definitions, broken mappings, delayed updates, and unclear lineage. The most dangerous quality issues are invisible until something goes wrong downstream. And leaders rarely say, "We have a data quality problem." They say, "Why do these numbers keep changing?" That is the same thing. Lesson 3, how funnel drop-off data reveals customer friction. At a bank I worked for, I found customers dropping off a credit card application at the same step repeatedly. Session replay showed a silent error, a number field rejecting decimal values without any message. They were not abandoning the application. The product had stopped working and never told them why. The lesson? Drop-off location tells you where something is happening. Session replay tells you why. You need both. Lesson 4, how to make executive reporting clearer, faster, and more useful. Executive reports should answer 4 questions: what changed, why it matters, what needs attention, and what happens next. The instinct to include everything works against executive utility. The more a report tries to cover, the harder it becomes to identify what actually matters. Clarity is a choice. It has to be designed in. Lesson 5, KPI versus KRI, what teams should track before and after launch. KPIs measure performance. KRIs surface early warning signs before performance drops. A team that only tracks KPIs is flying with instruments that read yesterday's weather. At a bank I worked for, a KRI flagged an error page spike within 2 hours of launch. Engineering had a fix before customers felt it. Defining both before launch, not after something goes wrong, is what separates teams that catch problems from teams that receive complaints. Lesson 6. Data lineage explained. When a number changes unexpectedly, the first question is, where did this come from? Without lineage, every unexpected change is a manual investigation that takes hours. Lineage is the documented path data takes from source to report. It makes every step visible, traceable, and explainable. It is not a technical artifact. It is part of what makes reporting defensible. Lesson 7. What regulatory reporting reveals about your data discipline. FRY 14 is one of the most scrutinized regulatory filings a bank produces. Every number sourced, every exception resolved, every process auditable. What I learned working on this was not just about compliance. It was about what real discipline looks like when shortcuts are not an option. The same standard, clear definitions, active ownership, documented logic, proactive exception management is what every reporting environment needs. Regulatory environments just make it unavoidable. Lesson 8. Behavioral analytics, what session replay and event data can really tell you. Event data tells you what happened. Session replay shows you why. Together, they reveal friction that metrics alone will never surface. The most common mistake in behavioral analytics is treating correlation as cause. A high drop-off rate does not always mean the step is broken. A pause does not always mean confusion. The safeguard is business context. Ask what normal behavior should look like before drawing a conclusion. Lesson 9. Why documentation is a data quality issue, not just an operations issue. A new analyst joined the team. Their first task was to reproduce a weekly report leadership had been receiving for 2 years. They found a spreadsheet with no notes, a query with no comments, and a process that lived entirely in the previous analyst's head. They could not reproduce it confidently. That is not a training problem, it is a documentation problem. And documentation is a data quality issue because when process is undocumented, consistency fails. And consistency is a core quality dimension. Lesson 10. The skills behind strong data quality and product analytics work. The professionals who create the most impact in this field are not always the most technically advanced. They combine technical skill with 5 habits: definition, discipline, insisting on precision before building anything, process awareness, understanding how data moves, not just what the output looks like, clear communication, explaining findings in language that supports decisions, risk thinking, asking whether work is defensible, not just accurate, and business context, staying grounded in what the information is actually supposed to support. Now, here's the thread I want you to see across all 10 of these lessons. Data trust is not a single fix. It is a system. You need quality at the source. You need lineage to trace the path. You need documentation to make it reproducible. You need ownership to make it durable. You need discipline to make it defensible. And you need the communication skills to make it useful to the people who need to act on it. Remove any one of those and the system weakens. Keep all of them and you build something rare. Reporting that people genuinely trust. Season 1 built the foundation. Season 2 goes deeper. We are going to explore data catalogs and why most of them fail. We are going to talk about what proactive governance looks like before things break and why the professionals who think this way are the most valuable people in any data organization. We are going to go deeper into behavioral analytics, shadow IT, the ethics of automated decision making, and a question I have been sitting with for a long time. When did humans first decide to classify the world around them as data? And what has that impulse cost and given us over time? If you found this video useful, subscribe so you are here when season 2 starts. If you have been watching since the beginning, thank you. Your engagement made this worth building. I am Ya Boadu. I work at the intersection of data quality, governance, and trust in financial services, and I will see you in season 2.